Hi, I'm Ben and you're watching Batarang to the Butt, and I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited for the upcoming Eternals movie. It looks to be a very new and interesting direction for the MCU, with the Eternals themselves being quite obscure characters. But so far, the trailers make it look pretty dope. I'm looking forward to seeing it all unfold up on the big screen, but I understand that these new characters and concepts can be quite intimidating. Well, I'm here to break those characters and concepts down into one digestible video. But before I go on, if you enjoy this kind of content, then remember to leave a like on the video. That really helps. Thanks. The Eternals first appeared in Eternals Issue 1 in 1976, and they were created by comic book legend Jack the King Kirby. But I'm not going to start with them, I'm actually going to start with the Celestials. The upcoming movie will see their return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I say return because we've already seen one of them in this scene from Guardians of the Galaxy, when the Collector describes how they once used the Infinity Stones to wipe out entire civilizations.
There's a little pea coming out of me right now.
Also, that whole scene takes place on Nowhere, which isn't actually a planet, but rather it's the severed head of, you guessed it, a Celestial. But anyway, their first comic book appearance was in the Eternals Issue 2, and they were also created by Jack Kirby. There are a whole bunch of them, but the ones that we've seen in the MCU are called Eson the Searcher, Jemiah the Analyzer, and Arashem the Judge. But to understand the Celestials, we have to go all the way back to the very beginning of the Marvel Universe. Before the multiverse and before life itself, there existed the first firmament. Being the only thing in existence made the first firmament quite lonely, and so they created life. They also created the Celestials to continue with creation and manage that new life. The complete will and purpose of these beings is kind of beyond human comprehension. But basically, they were created to be cosmic gardeners, and every so often they return to check on their creations, and even to test them, but we'll not get into that. Oh, and they're huge. They're crazy big, crazy old, and crazy powerful. During their mission to create and experiment on life, one of the planets that they visited was Earth. You know, our planet. And during this visit, they experimented on primordial apes. And from that, they spawned the Deviants, the Eternals, and even us, the humans. In general, the Celestials have a thing for experimenting on lower life forms. This is also how we ended up getting the X gene. That's mutants, baby. We humans were purposefully created to inherit the Earth, while the Deviants were made accidentally. While all Deviants are unique, they share the common trait of being warmongering monsters. To put it bluntly, they're the bad guys. In the beginning, there were 100 Deviants, and so the Celestials made 100 Eternals. Although in the cinematic universe, it seems as if there was only ever 10. The Eternals were made with the purpose of protecting the humans from the Deviants. The Eternals are ageless beings, each with a unique superpower that they use in their endless battle against the Deviants. For example, Icarus can fly, and he has eye beams. The Eternals serve the Celestials and anticipate their return, while the Deviants fear their return. Over the centuries, both species developed alongside humans. Many Eternals banded together to create a city atop the Greek mountains, which they called Olympia, while the Deviants mostly moved underground. Are you still with me? To summarise, basically the god of the Marvel Universe is called the First Firmament, and it created the Celestials, and in turn the Celestials created the Deviants, the humans, and the Eternals. Simple enough, right? Well, at one point a couple of Eternals left Earth to go and live on Saturn's moon, and their descendants became known as Titans. And I'm pretty sure there's one particular Titan that you will recognise. Thanos is technically an Eternal. However, he was born with a deviant gene in him, which is why he looks the way he does. It's not clear if it'll be the same in the movies, but in the comics, Thanos is the cousin of Angelina Jolie's character, Thena. I don't know exactly how much of the comics they're going to adapt for this movie, but it does seem that both versions of the characters avoid meddling with human affairs, which is why we rarely ever see them hang out with or fight alongside the Avengers. Like I mentioned earlier, their only purpose is to fight the Deviants.
We were instructed not to interfere in any human conflicts unless Deviants are involved.
By who?
But there you have it, that's pretty much everything that you really need to know about the Celestials, the Eternals, and the Deviants. If you want to learn more about Marvel characters and concepts, then be sure to follow Batarang to the Butt, like the Facebook page, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more geeky good stuff just like this.